Okay, hi. So I'm Alex Dunmow, founder of Ninja Syndicate and CEO.
My name's Nguyen. I'm the CTO and founder of Ninja Syndicate.
So roughly 7 or 8 years ago, I was trying to do my own startup as basically a single dev. I was using a programming language called Go, which is created by Google. It's kind of a lonely experience because I didn't know anyone who used this programming language. I didn't have anyone to talk to about my wins and troubles, and all I had was Reddit. So I started a meetup.
It was about 2016. I was working as a data analyst at the time, basically writing apps, web apps in a language called Ruby on Rails. And at the time, I was exploring a new programming language called Go. I was running workshops. I was teaching people Go, and then I found the meetup that Alex started.
It turns out a lot of people thought that it was John who'd started it because he was the evangelist for the language in the city. We became pretty quick friends, just over a shared love of this programming language. And then it turned out that the company he worked for was actually one level above the office I rented in the city.
And from there, I joined the meetup. I met Alex. At the time, the company I was working at was starting to go under. So we basically joined forces.
At the very time they went out of business, I received basically a big opportunity to work on a giant software project. And I realized that it was too big for one person. So we started a software consulting business.
And from there, it's been 5-6 years, and then we switched over to what we are today.
We are a metaverse gaming studio. So we build games. We're kind of crypto adjacent and online gaming adjacent. But before that, so the company John and I started originally was a software consulting company. So we built enterprise software. But last year we pivoted, and now we're a product company. When we kind of launched out onto the internet December last year, and then again in February, the uptake was massive. We sold $4.5 million US of our in-game assets and tokens, and it's been an insane ride since then.
Ninja Syndicate, as the largest metaverse gaming studio in Perth, has proven that we have the talent and the capability to execute on something so cutting edge that most of the world hasn't seen yet.
We've always been working on something, and that something is now the game. But we always dedicated at least 20% of our resources to product, because being a product company is where you want to be.
We're pushing the edge. We're not just building games, we're building games with a established economy in the Web3 space. And that kind of stuff is so rare that to have it in Perth is actually a very unique circumstance for us. And that's probably the proudest thing I have here for Ninja Syndicate.
So I was born and raised in Perth, and I have two young kids, and there's really is nowhere better to grow up. Perth's an amazing place. Western Australia's an amazing place.
So Perth has a very strong engineering culture. So there's actually an undercurrent of a builder mentality. People that are just passionate, curious about how things work, and interest in optimizing processes, even though that sounds a bit boring. If you can harness that kind of energy and then funnel it into something different, like metaverse gaming in our case, then things will actually happen.
I talked about our pre-sale of our token when we first launched. That was almost entirely people from Perth. Yeah, so not big investors or VCs or big whale, rich people. That was the Web3 gaming community here in Perth supporting us, and we got a massive boost because they were just so happy to see something cool being done here.
Community support, direct community support in the form of money is quite hard to put together in Perth. The deal flow is very small, so what we were actually surprised by the fact that the community actually helped us push our project to the next level. That was pretty unique, and it's something that we were pleasantly surprised by it.
If you do make it here, You'll be loved for it.
It was a euphoric time when we did our sale of our tokens at the end of last year. That was in December 2021. It was a interesting time because we were pivoting over from a consultancy to a product-based company, and to have the community actually support what we were doing, that felt amazing, because there was validation of what you were doing, and there was enough support from the community to actually give us the runway we needed to prove that we can actually execute as well.
We have a lot of talent here, that's untapped, and a lot of smart people. So a lot of people, a lot of other companies who we compete with don't even understand the depth of talent that's here in Perth. Yeah.
I wouldn't call it the lowest point, but it was a very stressful time. It was in February in 2022 when we did the launch. Because the launch was the timeline was quite compressed, and we launched a game, there was a lot that could go wrong, and a lot did go wrong. So for me, it was the crunch that came straight after. Constantly chasing bugs, fixing issues, and making sure that the community that supported us in the first place were happy with what we built.
As a startup founder, you were going to run out of money, and you were going to go hat in hand to people and go, "Can I please have some money?" They're going to test the fuck out of you to actually see whether you're worth giving that money.
So for us, not just because our borders were closed, but just because we're so far away, to find capital, interested investors, to find supporters in general, means that we had to fly out of Perth. I think in Perth it's very people driven, so you have to put yourself out there. So not just with the hustle of pitching and stuff, but actually making friends and getting known in the space. I think for us, for the community thing, where we were actually going to all the meetups, speaking to all the people, just showing them what we were doing, and trying to kind of just creating rapport with the people. It's something that people try not to do. They tend to sit in their office, consult, write emails, manage schedules and stuff, or go to an office. But after work, going to events that are relevant to what you do, it's actually more beneficial in ways that are unexpected as well.
Yeah, Perth's an interesting place. It's a very wealthy place, and if you get into the right corners and the right groups and meet the right people, you can be very successful here.